In post-shift Atlanta, where magic and technology battle for dominance, danger is always present. Kate Daniels, a no-nonsense mercenary with a sharp tongue and an even sharper blade, is no stranger to the chaos. She works as a liaison for the Order of Knights of Merciful Aid, a group dedicated to protecting the city from magical threats. When an urgent assignment comes through, Kate is tasked with retrieving a set of stolen maps that outline the city's ley lines. These maps are not just valuable, they are dangerous. The ley lines, invisible currents of magical power, fuel Atlanta's supernatural balance. If they fall into the wrong hands, the city's fragile peace could shatter. Kate's investigation plunges her into the city's underbelly, where power struggles simmer beneath the surface. Her search for the maps leads her to the Pack, Atlanta's ruling clan of shapeshifters. Led by the formidable beast Lord Curran, the Pack is as territorial as they are lethal. Kate knows that dealing with Curran means walking a razor's edge. Their first meeting in this investigation is charged with tension. Curran, towering, golden-eyed, and exuding dominance, doesn't take kindly to outsiders meddling in Pack affairs. Kate, however, is no ordinary outsider. Armed with her enchanted sword, Slayer, and her quick wit, she stands her ground. Sparks fly as they clash verbally, their banter hinting at an underlying chemistry neither wants to acknowledge. As the magical currents fluctuate, causing unpredictable surges, Kate realizes the theft is part of a larger, darker scheme. Someone, possibly a power-hungry mage or a rogue faction, wants to harness the ley lines for their own twisted purposes. And if they succeed, the consequences will be catastrophic for the entire city. But Kate is not one to back down. With danger closing in and time running out, she must navigate a city where alliances shift as quickly as the magic itself. And to retrieve the maps, she may have to work alongside Curran, a partnership as volatile as the magic threatening to consume them all. The streets of post-shift Atlanta pulse with danger as magic surges and recedes unpredictably. For Kate Daniels, the city is both battlefield and home. Her pursuit of the stolen ley line maps has already brought her face to face with the Pack's beast Lord Curran, but the mystery is deepening and turning darker. On a storm-swept night, Kate's investigation takes an unexpected turn when she meets Julie, a scrappy teenager with fierce eyes and a defiant streak. The girl is desperate. Her mother, Jessica, has vanished without a trace. Jessica is no ordinary civilian. She's a minor witch tied to a small, secretive coven. Kate recognizes the fear in Julie's voice, the kind of fear that means something is terribly wrong. Against her better judgment, she takes the girl under her protection. Their search for Jessica leads them through the shadowy corners of the city. The deeper they dig, the stranger the case becomes. Kate learns that Jessica's coven had been tracking unusual magical disturbances, fluctuations tied to the coming magical flare. These rare and powerful surges of magic open rifts between worlds, allowing ancient beings, gods, and monsters to slip through. At an abandoned warehouse, Kate and Julie find evidence of a violent ritual. Blood stains the floor in twisted patterns, the air thick with residual power. Something, or someone, has been summoned. Among the scattered remains, Kate discovers a fragment of the stolen maps. It's clear now. Jessica's disappearance is connected to the maps and the coming flare. Kate's instincts scream that something much larger is unfolding. Her suspicions are confirmed when she visits Gastek, a calculating master of the dead who controls vampires through sheer will. In exchange for information, Gastek reveals a chilling truth. During magical flares, divine entities can manifest, if given the right vessel. The stolen maps are not just about controlling ley lines. They are part of a larger ritual to bring a god back to life. As Kate pieces together the puzzle, she's haunted by the possibility that Jessica is being prepared as a sacrifice, a living conduit for an ancient malevolent force. The thought chills her. She's seen firsthand what happens when power-hungry mages tamper with forces beyond their control. The result is never clean, never human. But Kate isn't alone. Despite her guarded nature, she finds herself relying on allies, both old and new. Julie's sharp instincts and street smarts make her a valuable partner. And then there's Curran, a predator in human skin. Their uneasy alliance remains tense, yet there's an undeniable pull between them. He warns Kate that if a god is truly stirring, the pack will act, but their methods are as brutal as they are efficient. The clock is ticking. If the flare peaks before Kate finds Jessica, it might be too late. With the city teetering on the edge of supernatural chaos, Kate prepares herself for the worst. She's no stranger to violence. She knows that to stop whoever is behind the theft, she may have to cross lines even she fears to tread. As the full moon rises, the magic swells, and something ancient stirs beneath Atlanta's cracked pavement. The hunt has only just begun, but Kate can already feel the darkness watching her, waiting for its moment to strike.
The air in Atlanta crackles with energy, thick and electric, as the magical flare continues to swell. For most people in the city, these surges mean broken technology, strange sightings, and sleepless nights. For Kate Daniels, it means one thing: danger is coming. At her modest apartment on the city's edge, Kate sharpens her enchanted blade, Slayer, her thoughts heavy with the weight of the case. The stolen ley line maps, Jessica's disappearance, and the dark rituals all point to something far worse than routine magical crime. And then there's Julie, the street-smart teenager now under Kate's protection. Julie's mother is still missing, and with every passing hour, the odds of finding her alive shrink. Julie sits on Kate's battered couch, absently twisting a delicate silver necklace between her fingers. It was a gift from her boyfriend, Red, a quiet but intense boy she met while scavenging in the ruins. Something about the necklace unsettles Kate, a faint magical pulse hidden beneath the innocent gleam of the metal. Her instincts whisper that it's connected to the violence surrounding them. The quiet doesn't last. A sickening ripple pulses through the apartment as a fresh magical surge sweeps the city. The windows rattle. The lights flicker and die. From the corner of her eye, Kate sees the shadows twist unnaturally. She tightens her grip on Slayer. "Stay behind me," she tells Julie. The first mermaid breaks through the window in a spray of shattered glass and seawater. But this isn't the stuff of fairy tales. Its flesh is gray and bloated, mottled with decay. Razor-sharp teeth gnash hungrily as it lunges toward Julie. Kate moves fast, slicing downward. Slayer hums as it cleaves through the creature's neck, black ichor spraying the walls. Before the corpse hits the ground, the apartment floods with the stench of rot and brine. Kate fights with brutal efficiency, slashing, pivoting, keeping herself between the monsters and Julie. But the mermaids are relentless, and something about them feels wrong. They're not random creatures pulled in by the flare. Someone, or something, sent them. Julie cries out as a scaled hand snags her ankle. Kate pivots, driving her blade through the creature's chest. It shrieks, dissolving into a puddle of foul-smelling slime. The walls tremble. A second surge erupts, stronger this time. From the ruined window, a new presence emerges. It's not a mermaid. It's something worse. A towering figure with bone-white skin and too many eyes crawls into the room. Its limbs are jagged and elongated, its mouth a black pit dripping venom. The air hums with ancient magic, god magic. Kate's stomach twists. This creature is no ordinary monster. It's a harbinger, a servant of a greater, unseen power. Kate knows one thing for certain, it's here for Julie. The harbinger lunges. Kate blocks its clawed hand with Slayer, but the impact drives her back, pain lancing through her arm. "Run," she shouts at Julie. But Julie doesn't move. She's frozen, eyes wide with terror, and the necklace around her throat glows brighter, pulsing in rhythm with the flare. The creature senses the magic in Julie. It wants her. Kate taps into her own power, a dangerous magic she rarely allows herself to use. Fire floods her veins as she speaks a word of power, ancient and raw. The air distorts. The harbinger screams as the magic rips through it, burning it to ash. But the price is steep. Kate staggers, her vision swimming. Julie rushes to her side. "Are you okay?" Her voice trembles. Kate nods, though the pain lingers. She studies the girl, the way the creature targeted her, the way the necklace reacted to the surge. This is no coincidence. Where did Red get that necklace? Kate demands. Julie hesitates. I don't know. He said he found it near the old cathedral ruins. Kate's blood runs cold. The cathedral ruins sit atop a powerful ley line nexus, exactly the kind of place someone would use to summon a god. The attacks, the maps, the flare, it's all connected. Someone is gathering power, and Julie is somehow tangled in the heart of it. Kate makes a decision. She can't afford to sit back and react anymore. If they're going to survive, and find Jessica, she needs to hunt. "We're going to find Red," she says grimly. "And after that, we're going to stop whoever is behind this." As they leave the wreckage of the apartment, the city shudders beneath another magical pulse. The flare is rising, and so is the darkness waiting just beyond it. Atlanta shivers under the weight of the magical flare. Power hums through the city, ancient and restless. Kate Daniels feels it crawling along her skin as she moves through the ruined streets, a constant reminder that the world is tilting toward chaos. She's faced monsters before, but the creatures rising now, undead mermaids, shadowed harbingers, are different. Something old is waking, and if Kate doesn't act fast, it will devour the city. But even someone as stubborn as Kate knows she can't do this alone. The pack's stronghold, the keep, looms ahead. Its jagged silhouette is a fortress against both magic and enemies. Kate never enters the keep lightly. Shapeshifters are territorial, volatile, and far too perceptive for her comfort. And at the heart of it all is Curran, the Beast Lord. Their interactions are always laced with tension, part rivalry, part something she's not ready to name. Curran meets her in the training yard, his golden eyes gleaming beneath the harsh lights. He's a predator, powerful, calculating, and dangerous. Even without shifting, his strength is evident in the way the air seems to bend around him. "You look like hell," he says, voice rough as gravel. "I've had a rough night." Kate sheathes her sword but keeps her posture ready. "I need your help." For a long, heavy moment, Curran watches her. Finally, he speaks. "You wouldn't be here unless it was bad." "It is," Kate admits. "Something stirring. Gods, or what's left of them. They're using the flare to push through. If we don't stop it, they'll tear this city apart." Curran's expression darkens. "And you think the pack will fight for you?" "I think the pack doesn't want Atlanta to burn." A muscle ticks in his jaw. "Fine. But if you bring this to my door, you follow my rules." Kate's lips curve in a humorless smile. "Wouldn't dream of disobeying." Their truce is fragile, but it's a start. Their uneasy alliance leads to the city's magical underworld, a tangled web of witches, necromancers, and rogue mages. It's here that Kate first hears whispers of a thief, a man who moves like a shadow and slips between worlds as if they were doors. The stolen maps are his work, but the reason behind the theft remains hidden. That changes when Bran finds her. He appears without warning in the ruins of an old church, his green eyes gleaming with mischief and danger. Dressed in ragged leather and a cocky grin, he moves like someone untouched by fear. His magic is strange, slippery, hard to pin down. One moment he's there, the next, he's gone. "You've been looking for me," he says, perched casually on a broken pew. Kate doesn't lower her sword. "You have something that doesn't belong to you." "Do I?" He tilts his head, feigning innocence. "Funny thing about those maps. They're not just paper and ink. They're keys, and when the flare hits its peak, those keys unlock doors even you can't close." "Why steal them?" Kate demands.
Because Bran's smile fades, and something older glints in his gaze. The gods are waking. And one of them wants to walk this world again. The air around him ripples, proof of his otherness. Kate can't place what he is, but he's no ordinary thief. "Who are you working for?" she presses. "I'm working against someone," he corrects. "And if you're smart, you will too." Before she can react, he vanishes, leaving only the faint scent of wildflowers behind. Kate returns to the keep, her mind churning. Bran's magic, the stolen maps, and the flare, they're all pieces of a larger game. But what frightens her isn't the chaos. It's who is orchestrating it. Through careful questioning and a tense meeting with Gastek, the vampire master, Kate uncovers the truth. Morrigan, an ancient Celtic goddess of war and death, is trying to break through the veil between worlds. Bran isn't just a thief, he's her hound, a reluctant servant bound by blood and magic. And Julie's necklace? It isn't just a trinket. It's an anchor, a magical object powerful enough to bind a god to human flesh. Morrigan wants a vessel, Kate realizes aloud.
And if she gets one during the flare, no one in this city will survive. The flare intensifies, shaking the very bones of the city. As the magic peaks, alliances strain. Some of the pack question why they should risk their lives for humans. Gastek, ever opportunistic, hints at using the chaos for his own ends. Even Julie, frightened and grieving for her mother, starts to pull away, especially when Bran reappears, offering answers she desperately wants. Kate knows that the final battle is coming. She also knows that not everyone will survive. In a rare moment of vulnerability, Curran pulls her aside. "You don't have to do this alone." "I never do," she replies. "But some things, they're my responsibility." His gaze softens, just a little. "Then we fight together." As the city trembles beneath another magical pulse, Kate grips Slayer tighter. "Let the gods come. She'll be ready." The city of Atlanta groans under the weight of the magical flare, its bones vibrating with ancient power. Every shadow seems alive, stretched too far. The air is heavy, thick with the taste of copper and the promise of blood. Kate Daniels stands at the center of it, sword in hand, heart pounding against her ribs. She's fought magic before. Monsters. Shapeshifters. But this is older. More dangerous. And it's about to break through. The stolen leyline maps had been the key all along. With them, the gods, or what was left of them, could track power nexuses across the city, using the flare's heightened magic to force their way into the mortal realm. If they succeed, it won't be just Atlanta that falls. The world will burn. Kate moves quickly, flanked by Curran, the Beast Lord, and Julie, the street-smart teenager caught in the heart of the chaos. The pack runs ahead, shapeshifters in their war forms, primal and ferocious. Their destination, a long-abandoned cathedral built atop one of the most powerful leyline intersections in the city. "Stay close," Kate tells Julie. "If things go wrong, run." Julie's fingers curl around the silver necklace, the anchor that ties her to the divine struggle. Her voice is thin but steady. "I'm not leaving you." Kate doesn't argue. Not anymore. The gods stir. The air at the cathedral entrance shudders, a rift between worlds yawning open. Through the fractured veil, Kate sees something twisted, a shape too vast to be human, too wild to be anything else. Morrigan. A goddess of death and war. And standing at the edge of the tear is Bran, the silver-eyed thief who had stolen the maps. Except now, his cocky demeanor is gone. His skin glows faintly with a greenish hue, power that isn't his own crawling through his veins. "I tried to stop her," Bran says, his voice frayed. "She's too strong." "You stole the maps," Kate snaps, stepping forward. "You started this." "I did it to keep them out." Bran's voice cracks. "If they get through, there's nothing left." The flare pulses again, a hot, electric wave that knocks Kate back. The world tilts. And Morrigan begins to push through. The walls tremble as something massive forces its way into reality. Tendrils of shadow twist toward Kate, reeking of rotten old blood. With a growl, Curran shifts, half lion, half man, his claws flashing as he slashes through the creeping darkness. Kate doesn't hesitate. She launches forward, Slayer humming in her grip. The first manifestation rises from the ground, a thing made of bone and rage. It moves like smoke, its jagged claws dripping with venom. Kate's sword meets it mid-swing, cutting deep, but the thing doesn't stop. "Keep them off the Nexus," Kate shouts. The pack moves as one, tearing into the shadows, but Morrigan is still coming. And then, Julie screams. Kate turns to see Julie on the ground, the necklace glowing white-hot. Magic spills from the pendant, raw, unstable power, as the goddess tries to pull herself through Julie's link. No. Kate moves fast, cutting the magical tendrils binding Julie, but the backlash burns. Pain sears her nerves. She knows this magic. It's blood magic, deep, old, and unforgiving. Bran stumbles forward, face pale. She marked the girl. "If you break the link wrong." "I know," Kate snaps, tasting blood in her mouth. There's only one way to sever the connection safely. Her own blood. Grimly, Kate draws Slayer across her palm. Power surges to meet the offering, as though the magic recognizes her. She speaks an ancient word, a word of power, and cuts. The magic snaps like a broken wire. Julie collapses into her arms. But it's not over. Morrigan's voice echoes through the tear, cold and pitiless. "You cannot stop me, child." Kate lifts her sword. "I can try." Magic ignites through her body, an ancient force she's always kept buried. She shouldn't use it. She can't use it. But if she doesn't, Atlanta dies. With a battle cry, she channels everything, blood, will, and magic, and drives her blade into the heart of the Nexus. The air explodes. Light and shadow collide, 1,000 screaming voices ripped backward through the tear. Morrigan's form shudders, torn from this world, her power fraying into nothingness. And then, silence. Kate wakes beneath a blood-red sky. Her body aches, magic burns through her veins like poison, but the flare is fading. The city is still standing. Curran stands over her, golden eyes unreadable. "You always push too hard." "You'd be bored if I didn't," Kate manages, her lips twitching into a smile. Julie stirs beside her, alive but shaken. Kate squeezes her hand. "You're safe now," but a sliver of dread remains. The gods may be gone, but something else was stirred. And it isn't finished. In the days that follow, the city begins to heal. Kate strengthens her bonds with the pack, an uneasy but necessary alliance. Julie stays close, no longer just a frightened girl but something else, family. And Bran? Gone. But his words linger, the gods are watching, Kate. This was only the beginning. As the last traces of the flare fade from the air, Kate knows one thing, the war is far from over. And next time, the gods might not be so easily stopped.